So, Steve, we've been reintroducing. It's been about 3 years since you and I had conversations,
Yeah,
and I'm glad that you called. I'm glad that you remember.
yeah, yeah. I've been. I mean, we've sent a few emails back and forth, but I always backed out. I guess in one way I was kind of. I want to say I felt kind of. I don't know. I felt kind of ashamed in a way. Um,
Well, that's a good enough reason to call.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, and that's the funny thing is people will use that as the excuse to not call
Yeah,
because it's not my intention to make you feel ashamed at all, but
no,
rather to feel
no,
joyful.
no, 100%. And that's why I want to
And
reach. Sorry.
in a funny way, that goes back to the original point that you had made, and I want to congratulate you again for being able to grab a hold of a house without having a mortgage and how secure that feels as opposed to having a mortgage for it. And I talked about that that's the whole teaching of the Dhamma. The entire teaching is security. If you feel secure, completely secure, and now you bring up being ashamed. Well, being ashamed is one way of feeling really insecure.
So,
You
yeah,
got that?
yeah,
So it's almost the same thing. Um, that in fact, uh, in a way, it's also the same as being in debt. That somehow in relationships or something that we owe each other something. But the reality is you don't owe me anything and I don't owe you anything. Isn't that marvelous? And I'm really glad that you called again. Shame and all.
yeah. Maybe that's what came to mind. I mean, maybe that wasn't the exact word, but you're definitely right in terms of picking out on that word security because I think with everything that's going on in the world right now, and the same, and buying the house, and it still doesn't make you feel 100% secure. You know, it, it's
Absolutely.
it's a degree, and I just I remember our times when we were talking before, and I really felt like I was getting something. It was something was clicking in my mind, and I felt really happy for those months that we were talking.
Uh huh.
And just certain things really really came to life for me. I just remember I can kind of go back and just remember how it was so clear that that this moment right now was really the only thing that really mattered. And if you're not happy now, it didn't really matter. But it was such a thing for me. It feels like it's in the part. I'm not sure how I guess with the meditation practice and that it anchored me here and it enabled me to
Mm-hmm.
for that like a real thing. Whereas at the minute it's kind of I'm not seeing that quite clearly. Um,
Well, congratulations for remembering that because you've got that to build on. But one of the things that I can already say, even though that it was an overall, you have already left out some of the key ingredients. And so maybe if we add those key ingredients back in, that we can get that practice kick-started again because we'll have a reason, a rationale to even bother to get the kickstart of the practice back in. And part of the example of that is to recognize that somehow the thrill is gone, to coin a phrase, or that because of the lack of practice, that the mind goes back to the way that it was.
100%. Yeah.
Um, Now, let's talk about some of the things that, uh, gosh, I tell you what, another point is that over the years, my teaching has um, evolved. And so some of the newer things that I'm teaching students now may be of enormous value to you because I'm saying it in new ways. And I welcome that you come back so that I can give you the, uh, how to say, give you the gift of the Dhamma again so that you can get dried out again, so that you can get on fire again. And
Yeah,
so, using that analogy.
yeah,
Uh, so, uh, let's start as if we were starting brand new. And the way that we would start brand new, you probably heard some of this before, but it's always a different way of talking. That the Buddha only taught one thing. And he even said so in one of the suttas in a very emphatic way, both formally and now I teach only one thing. And that is dukkha, dukkha nirodha, which breaks down immediately into the Four Noble Truths, which basically means dukkha and the end of dukkha. But in the regard of dukkha, you've really got to be able to see it. And when we don't see it, we live our lives in an ordinary kind of way. It's almost like that we've run off the road. And because things are kind of smooth now, and it says, well, I'm off the road, but it's okay that I'm off the road. Let me go down this track anyway. I'll wind up somewhere anyhow. And then we wind up stuck. And then we said, I might have been better off if I'd have stayed on the road or stayed on the path. And so this is one of the ways of beginning to understand dukkha in a new way for you, is that anything that keeps me from being joyful is in fact unwholesome. It's inappropriate. It's in fact dukkha. It is dukkha itself. And when we can see the dukkha, then we can better avoid it. That we can only avoid the dukkha that we can see. Or another way of talking about it, the Buddha talked about things have three characteristics. The three characteristics normally is the gratification or the enjoyment or the liking of something. Because we go with it the way that we feel. We like it, therefore we want it. And if we want it, it must be good. So there's got that quality of desire and liking built into it, and we seek some sort of gratification from it. But with wisdom and waking up, we can see um, the dangers sometimes. In other words, now we're beginning to apply the First Noble Truth. Instead of just going after something because I like it, I'm going to investigate it and I'm going to find out whether this is really worthwhile or not. Or is this is this fish going to bite me? Who's got the hook here? And so that's where things begin to change, is when we can see the danger, we can see the dukkha. Because it's only when we can see the dukkha can we be set free from it. That's the escape. If we can't see where we're going, then we'll wind up running into some piece of furniture and stubbing our toe in the dark. But if we can recognize that we can't see where we're going, let's turn the light on, then we can um, avoid stubbing our toe, is another way of talking about it. Okay? So we begin to see the danger in the dukkha, and only then can we apply the Eightfold Noble Path so that we can see the deep nature of this dukkha, this unsatisfying life that we've got. And also to begin to play with getting back into that feeling of being free from dukkha that you've already talked about, that you had 3 years ago. From time to time, you can get yourself into a really nice state.
100%. I
Well, why
remember.
don't you go right back into it right now? I mean, everything is good. You can look around. Things are, in fact, quite safe. That house that you bought does not have gorillas. It does not have pythons. It does not have any alligators. It's a pretty safe house.
Yeah, yeah, it's not bad. It's all right. It's it's a simple little abode, but that's all you need, isn't it? You know.
Okay.
You know.
So you can feel satisfied and safe and secure right now with the invitation of the Dhamma. And you can do this for yourself anytime you remember it. So take a deep breath and say, you know, everything is okay right now. Everything is fine. Not a care in the world. Everything is okay. Everything's all right. We start talking to ourselves in this way. But this is the kind of language that we want to use. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. This is what the Buddha calls gladdening the mind. It's part of anapanasati. And in regard to the Eightfold Noble Path, this is one's right effort. One's right effort is actually come out of the misery of the ordinary day into a state of relaxation and peace. And we basically start using that kind of language.
I haven't kept an eye on the garden. The weeds were overtaken. You know, just need to clear that little bit of space to prune those weeds because the hindrances felt like they were turning into big vines. You know.
Absolutely, a thicket of views. A thicket. Or as they say in the South, a briar patch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got hooked up on all sorts of stuff, and you know, hindrances. Yeah, yeah. But that's why I want to make contact because, say, you know, it's
Oh,
that,
I'm really glad you called.
it's that, just like that, you know, sort of personification, you know, of what that's about. So when I've watched your, you know, some of your videos lately, you know, I sort of dip in now and again. It's just, you know, your smiling face and. Yeah, it's good to see. It's not, you don't see many people in the world like that, you know. So it's and it just reminds me that you know I can be there as well. Really, it's like you said, it just takes the right effort because,
It does. It takes a bit of effort.
like I say, like you know, cause like one of the things that seemed to be sort of newer in your teaching was this, you know, talking as one as the winner as opposed to the victim or the loser, and you know that resonates that because man, you know, I felt like a winner before. And I know what it feels like to feel like a bit of a loser. So I might have the house and all that, but I've been feeling like a loser lately, you know, and that's a waste of time, you know. So
Well, congratulate yourself again for the fact that at least you got a house out of it, even if you had to. It cost you all your good feelings.
yeah, it wasn't all bad. I've got. I guess, yeah. I guess I've come to the. I'm dragging around the hindrance of remorse and regret at the moment, and just you know, that's it's got his claws into me slightly at the moment. So,
All
but
right. So
it's
let me ask you it this way: how long are you going to have this pity party of remorse and regret?
yeah. Well, hopefully,
Are you about done with it?
So yeah, I need to cut, cut through the doubt, cut through all the hindrances. The story in my head right now is that I had that power back a few years ago, and I feel like it's one of the things that's causing the suffering right now is kind of comparing myself to how I felt back then to now, and
let's not do that right now. Let's just go with the fact that all we need from that time back then is that you could do it then, but only in the sense then, and that gives you permission to do it now. Even if you have to go through the same effort that you went through then to get it, you can go through that effort again to get it now, but it'll be easier this time, I think. And so just allowing yourself to breathe and say everything's okay. Everything's going to be all right. That the past is the past, it's all gone now. If it didn't bite me then, it's probably not going to bite me now. And I can let it go. In Christianity, they use the trick of God forgives you from your sins. And when people believe that, really, they'll actually say, okay, I am forgiven of my sins, and therefore it's okay for me to forgive myself of my sins too. So in order for you to let go of the past, you got to both forget it and forgive it. And one of the tricks that I found very useful for myself was to say, okay, in order for me to stop feeling bad about what I did that time in the past or those times in the past, I resolve I'm not going to do that anymore. That's not me now. That I've made a change. And because I've made that change and I'm not going to do that anymore, I can say goodbye to it as the past. It's not part of the present. I'm not doing things that I regret and remorse now.
I think you can pick up from where I'm coming from, but so.
Well, I'm just using your words back to you. Regret and remorse were the words you used, which is certainly when people feel regret and remorse, they certainly don't feel secure and safe.
No, anxiety, guilt. Guilt. I think guilt's a word that I feel guilty because of what you said about that. When you can kind of resolve not to do something again, because I've done something quite recently that again I probably feel ashamed about. And I remember before there's a kind of healthy sense of shame, right? In terms of you've been burnt by something, you're kind of scared by something, and that's what. Whoa. If I go down that path, that's not good, So it's
right. Well, we can think of it in the sense of very stupidly sticking our hand in the fire and getting burned.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's several things that happen about that. One is that the hand wants to withdraw before the mind does. The mind is still wanting to put your hand in the fire while the hand comes right back out. But the next point that's very interesting is that we somehow deep down inside recognize what we've done with the intention. I'm not going to stick my hand back in that fire. That was a dumb thing for me to do, and I'm not going to do it anymore.
No matter how good it felt at
the time. Actually, making that resolution. Wow, I'm really glad that I put my hand in that fire because now I know not to do that and really get burned the next time.
Yeah.
But that little burn that I got was enough already. Thank you very much. That was a nice lesson, easily learned. Yeah. And I'll pick myself up and dust myself off and boogie on down the road. Thank you very much.
Yeah, get knocked down 8 times, get up 9, isn't it? I think that's
Actually, yes. So this is the quality is that we have to recognize that's hot, that burns, that's dukkha, and that we're going to start taking not only with the attitude of avoiding doing that, but anything that causes dukkha or anything that's unwholesome. And so the sessions of practice for our sitting practice and beginning of this is keep remembering to have wholesome thoughts and not have unwholesome thoughts. Thoughts about business, thoughts about the past, thoughts about grief, parts past about guilt, any thoughts about the past or any thoughts about the future, making amends or fixing things up or anything about that, is say no. We're going to let all of that go. We're going to keep the mind occupied, not with whatever it just comes up with, but to keep it specifically occupied with a particular task to do, and that is to have only wholesome thoughts about right now. And so we have to begin to practice that, to practice having only wholesome thoughts. When do we do that? Every time we remember. And we want to remember with every breath. That's why we want to have that point of sati, to remember that this is a long in breath and that this is a long out breath. And when we say that long breath, we can say it like that, like on the in breath, everything, and then on the out breath, it's going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. And use that as kind of a mantra, but any good wholesome things to say. Like, what a nice day this is. Wow, everything is really okay today. I really like the way things are today. Wow, it's really a great day to live, to be joyful. Everything is okay right now. So we have to keep thinking those kind of positive thoughts and let unwholesome thoughts slip away, because we're beginning more and more to appreciate how much dukkha there is built into thinking about the past and how much suffering there is built in trying to fix the past, which is in fact the future. The future is nothing more than trying to repair the broken past. And if the past isn't broken, then it doesn't need any repair. And therefore we wind up with not much to do anymore.
yeah. Yeah, remembering that.
Yeah, you're beginning to remember some of this. That's great. That'll make it really easy for you to just keep having wholesome thoughts.
I know I can do it. I just haven't made the time. I haven't made the effort.
You
That's
haven't
that.
made right, but now you're calling me. You're making the commitment to make that effort again. It does take right effort. That's why it's on the Eightfold Noble Path.
Yeah, yeah. You just get the wrong idea of what effort means.
But it's enormously worth the effort. It's beyond imagination worth the effort.
It was some of the happiest moments of my life.
So let's get back into it.
Just the feeling clean, feeling clean.
Every time that you feel dirty, clean it out right then. I don't have to feel that way. But we have to make that time and effort in the sitting practice to get started over and over and over again, to keep remembering, You come out of the hindrances right back into a joyful mind. Everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, yeah. I need to build those muscles again, and that's the thing with the sitting practice. I know the sitting practice is not to sit there for 12 hours a day doing it. I know it's to help your daily life, but it really helped me. I think we started on 2 times 20 minutes a day, then we went up to 2 times 40 minutes a day, and then I was stopping at lunchtime and doing it, and I was doing it. And I was noticing my breath, a lot. And
I know. At one time, you were even thinking about dropping your business and heading off to the hills. I remember us talking about that, and then all of a sudden, I think you got really scared and say, "Wait a minute, I don't want to do that."
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's right. That's what happened. I think that's what I was ashamed of. Is I've seen a different future.
Well,
Like
let's deal with not being ashamed. Let's deal with you're okay.
I'm
Right
feeling.
now, everything is okay. Everything is fine.
Yeah, I'm feeling better now. Yeah, this is my kind of way of dealing with it as well. Is by making contact. Rather than just trying to brush it into a corner and forgetting about it. Because
I'm really glad that you called. I really am.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to sort. Yeah, so that's the goal. Well, I'm like a bit of a boxer. I feel like I'm kind of coming into this session kind of with a few black eyes and a bit a bit ruffled, a bit rough around the edges. I feel like a lot's happened in the last few years, but it's the facts are that I'm in a pretty good place, and I've been stupid for sure, but I ain't too bad now. But it's true, and I do remember as well when we were doing the whole like a whole day on a Sunday. I just honestly, I remember. I really felt on the path. It made a lot of sense.
Okay. Well, we'll add some new tools and some new techniques and some old things and that you remember.
Are you still there, Dhammarato? Screen's frozen. Hello. Dhammarato? Hello?
Okay. Yes, I was just saying that
Yeah, sorry.
we can develop that feeling of right attitude, the right attitude of a lion, to be powerful
Yeah.
and secure,
And noble. I think noble as
be
well.
completely free from debt, including owing shame anything.
Yeah, I don't owe the bank nothing, but I guess I owe some imaginary god something, Uh, maybe, or my parents something, or some something. Some undefined thing in
I
my head.
understand what you're talking about. Yes. Guess what? You don't owe them anything. All the debts have been paid.
Start again right now.
You
No
don't
more.
owe anybody anything. What you owe is yourself, and you owe yourself quite a lot of joy.
Yeah.
But it has to be practiced because you've been owing all of those gods, those things out there, those parents or whatever. You've been trying to pay those debts for years. And you still feel like you owe them something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you think you paid them enough already?
Well, they had a lot of time, energy, thought, emotion.
Yeah. Look how much you paid already. You paid enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't cancel the debt. It's
Uh-huh.
it's
Right. To cancel that debt. You don't owe anybody anything. And it's really deeply buried in our society that everybody in our society owes big time. We owe the government for the right to use their highways or something.
tell me about it. That's why this house. I know I keep going on about the house, but it represented something in a way. This was kind of my middle finger to society, saying I could have. I work a lot. The government, the bank wanted to loan me loads of money. I could have bought a big posh house, maybe. I don't want one. I just wanted somewhere to shit, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to sit down, somewhere warm, somewhere to keep.
Okay. Well, now that you found a home, can you be at home there?
I don't want
Because
to leave
you can't
the.
pay for that with money or shenanigans or quick thinking. We can only pay the price with practice.
Yeah,
Practice.
I don't want to leave the
Practice
house.
of
Yeah,
anapanasati.
yeah.
So now we have to practice coming out of all of those shenanigans and all of those thoughts. You've got the house now. From what you tell me, it's free and clear. Nothing left to do to enjoy it. So let's concentrate on now and getting into that enjoying the place now that you've got it.
Yeah. And this is the monastery in here. This is the garage. This is that was the deal. I get the garage, and the girlfriend gets the spare room as her office. So, welcome to my church. This is
I feel right at home in your church.
it's all right. It's not bad.
Well, welcome to my paradise.
Yeah, I can see.
So let's get it back into the practice and call me in the next few days, 2, 3,
Yep.
4 days from now, and we'll continue going on and on. But I really do appreciate that you're getting back into it.
I feel like
I'm
I've
seeing
ticked.
a long lost son coming home.
That's how it feels. Like honestly, that's kind of how it feels. You know. You know. I I live in a world where everyone I talk to is about business. That's when you work all the time, all you think about is business. All you talk about is business, and I'm kind of sick of business. I'm
Me
you know
too. I've done it. Been there, done that. I'm sick of it. I don't want anything to do with it.
yeah. And I feel like I had to go off track a little bit and go down a few dead ends as part of the process, I guess. Just so you can tick off the list and, as you say, been there, done that. That doesn't make you happy either. That doesn't make you happy. That doesn't make you happy. So I got to go in here.
Exactly so. Right.
So
Okay.
so do we need to go now, or can we? Can I have a brief? Uh, can I have some instructions to to restart meditation again?
Okay. I thought that I had just given you that
I,
surreptitiously, but
I,
I'll do it again so to rub it in.
yeah, that's the thing.
So, posture is not as important anymore as it once was. But what we're going to do instead is um, look at mindfulness or sati as the number one task. And that we're going to try to bring sati to each in breath and each out breath so that you know that this is a long in breath and know that it's a long out breath. But then there's lots of time for you to look at other things, including the fact that the breath is long. And one of the things to look at is the body. To feel the touch of the cloth on all the clothes that you're wearing in the wintertime there. And you can get a sense of the environment. And also you can get a sense of your posture as you're breathing in and out. And that kind of settles us into the here now. And so now we can begin to focus on the mind, to making sure that we're going to keep the mind free and clear on the in breath and on the out breath. We're going to allow only wholesome thoughts in unwholesome thoughts out. And if the mind wanders away, it doesn't wander away far, and it only wanders away into the Dhamma or something wholesome. If we catch it, the mind wandering away into the past, we bring it back happily and easily and settle down onto the breath again. Occasionally we make the statement, I can do this. I can, in fact, settle down, become at peace. I can even have some peace of mind. I can feel safe and secure and comfortable. And everything right now is okay. Everything is fine. So breathing in long, I feel really good. And breathing out long, I relax, relax. Breathing in long, I feel really good. Wow, really good. This is so nice. And on the out breath, relax, relax. So everything's gonna be all right. What a nice in breath and relax out breath. And as I breathe in, I feel really good. And as I breathe out, I feel fine. So glad to just watch this breath. Oh, it feels good. Just sigh and relax. And if the mind wanders away, never mind. Start again, come back. Happily, easily, joyfully, relax. And one thing's for sure, and that is I can do this. I can get myself into a state that's relaxed and easy. It really makes the day so nice. I'm really glad that I'm doing this. To bring the mind to a state with not a care in the world. It's relaxing and joyful and even energizing so that I feel strong and safe, able to take on any task. So as I finish this short meditation and come back out, I come out with a big smile, knowing that I can handle the whole day easy, without a worry in the world. Or as they say in Buddha circles, ding. So, how do you feel?
Good.
Good.
It's that effort is just a little bit more than I remembered. Not too much, but you have to. I remember before I said that I felt like the breath was like an old friend, you know, and it's got to put a bit of effort into it, you know, rather than focusing on the doubt and this doesn't work, this doesn't work. No, come on. Hey, have some respect for your friend and pay attention. That's how it felt. I feel good. Thank you.
Great.
I felt that cleanliness slightly coming in, you know.
Pardon?
I felt that cleanliness, that that wholesome bath.
Great. Great.
It's not that far away, is it? I just forgot.
Well, continue to practice this. Do this 2, 3, 4 times a day and come out of it in really nice condition.
Yeah.
And so call me again in the next couple of 3 days.
Will do.
Let me know how you're doing.
Yeah. I just need those stabilizing wheels at the moment. That's all. On
Excellent.
the bike.
I'm really glad to see you again, Steve.
You too, Dhammarato. Been too long. Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Namaste. Sawati.